Namaste guys, Ashish here for Namaste Tech, and in this video I'm going to review Lenovo's Vibe K5 Note, which was launched very recently. Now this phone is pretty awesome, and before I start getting into a detailed review, I'm going to talk about some of the advantages or the main features and the disadvantages you get with the phone. So let's begin with it. Now the biggest advantage you get is a full metal unibody, which is a big jump for Lenovo from K3 and K4. Second thing is you get a fingerprint sensor on the rear, which you can easily use to unlock your phone. It's very addictive. Then you get a great performance. We tested the 4GB version and it's not going to be very different from the 3GB version because the rest of the hardware remains same. Now you get Dolby Atmos support here, which obviously improves the whole audio experience, especially with the earphones. Then you get a 5 hours of screen on time. It's 5 hours plus screen on time with the 3400 mAh battery that comes with the phone. Lastly, the capacitive buttons are now backlit and it's customizable, which is again a change from its K4 and K3 where it wasn't backlit at all. Talking about the disadvantages of the phone, there are quite some. The first one is there is no Gorilla Glass protection, but instead Lenovo has used some in-house on-screen protection. Now, this is something that only a long-term usage can tell, but the box comes with a screen guard. Then the display part, even though it's full SD, you get a dull display and the DPI is pretty less. So if you have long names in your contacts or if you are browsing a content on any of the website, you get to see less. This is something which was disappointing. Both the front and the rear camera are average performer. And lastly, there is no quick charge support on the phone. That said, now let's begin with the details. The Lenovo K5 Note departs from the K4 design in a good way, and it's a huge jump from K3 design. The phone is wrapped completely with metal in the rear and around the sides of the phone, which delivers premium quality. The curved edges also makes it easier to hold the device. The top and bottom of the rear have a different color shade, which adds to the mix, but the finish of the rear panel does attract fingerprint. The rear also holds the camera with dual LED flash and the fingerprint sensor, all of which are aligned in one line. The speakers are also located at the rear, unlike the K4 Note, which houses front-facing stereo speakers. Talking about the front, the design carries the K3 legacy of rectangular front and the same bezel style. So yeah, you don't get edge-to-edge display, but thick top and bottom bezel, and on the side, which is much thinner. Vibe K5 Note houses a 5.5-inch 1080p display, which is up to the standard, but then it is also one of the disappointing part of the phone. The display is dull, DPI is low as well, and it results in less display, showing less content when compared to the other Full HD panels of similar size. The phone comes with display color balance feature, which allows you to adjust the display's color temperature to your comfort level. There is also a smart brightness option which enhances visibility when outside hard light environment. K5 Note has an impressive battery life of over 5 hours of screen on time, and with that amount of SOT, it will last for around a day. So how much battery power the phone packs in? It's 3500 mAh and it's all sealed in. Since it's a unibody design, the rear panels are not replaceable as it was on K4 Note. Lenovo took a break from Vibe UI, which came preloaded with K4 Note and K3 Note, and instead chose to load a pure UI on K5 Note. The UI is comparatively light with just the right amount of features and enhancements thrown in. Since we talked about apps in pure UI, you get a couple of them bundled up, including Lenovo Companion, Myntra, Navigate app, WeChat and Zomato. Almost all preloaded apps can be uninstalled to free up space. When it comes to special feature, you get Secure Zone, Gesture feature, Power Manager and Display Color Profile. Secure Zone is like a second profile on the same phone. We have a separate video that you should take a look on. Power Manager is an Android marshmallow feature and it's still worth a mention. It lets you optimize apps for battery by choosing which apps get into doors and app standby and which do not. It is impressive to see how Lenovo has managed to sync up both hardware and software well, which results in great performance. While the hardware specs are right on the screen, I'm going to talk about the general performance. I've used the phone for almost everything any regular user will end up using, right from playing heavy games like Asphalt 8 Airborne to regular messaging service like Facebook Messenger. They all work fine without any hiccups. Those who are keen to know about heavy game performance should know that Asphalt 8 Airborne wasn't perfectly smooth when played on high settings. It is mostly to blame on the GPU and partly on the display. However, there is no major heating issue. Call audio, cellular network were pretty smooth on K5 Note. Also, it is future-proof with support for VoLTE, but the company needs to enable it via the software update. Audio is one of the strongest points of the phone, and with its Dolby Atmos integration, audio is not only very clear but it is also pleasing to ears. K5 Note houses a 13 megapixel primary sensor, f2.2 face detection autofocus and dual LED flash. The front camera is of 8 megapixel. When it comes to the camera UI, Lenovo hasn't done much with the UI. It's very simple, straightforward, comes with basic settings available where you can change your photo resolution, white balance, ISO and so on. It can take videos at 1080p and that's the standard right now. The camera also allows you to take panorama, SDR and also use live filters. Coming to the performance, there is no shot-to-shot lag, but then autofocusing is still not up to the mark even though it is equipped with PDAF technology. This results in terrible autofocusing in low light. Now there are some camera samples I am putting up that you can take a look and judge. One thing you should know that after taking picture, K5 Note software enhances it. It makes it brighter, which is good in a way, but then it also results in a lot of noise. The side effect, you lose the sharpness. Keeping in mind the price point, the phone feels premium and it is at par with the competition. The all-metal exterior feels great, fingerprint sensor works flawlessly, the rear speaker is quite impressive and performance is top-notch. The camera is okay for regular users, but they do have better choices for sure. However, it's not that bad as well. At the end of the journey with Lenovo Vibe K5 Note, you see that Lenovo did something really big here. The phone competes with the likes of Redmi Note 3 and Moto G4 Plus, both of which are outstanding phones in their own regard.